Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. We have a terrifying update today from one of the top Republican senators who goes by the name of Mitch Mcconnell. This is a major Mitch McConnell update and what they are not telling you. They want to basically run a narrative to think for you to think one thing, while in reality something completely different is going on. But we've seen this time and time again from the government. We've seen this time and time again from political leaders. They want you to think one thing while there's a different reality taking place. Why do they want this to happen? Well, there's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of lobbying at stake, right? There's these lobbyists who pay tons of money for these political leaders to give them favors in order for them to get those donations, right? Personally, I don't trust politicians who take lobby money. I mean, why would you, right? They're literally pushing legislation in favor of these companies so that they can stay in power. I mean, it sounds corrupt, but lobbying's legal and it's just a part of the political system, which quite frankly, I don't agree with. But anyways, we have some major updates with Mitch McConnell, breaking news. So we're gonna dive into all of this, but before we do, we're gonna read scripture and pray because God comes first, amen? So comment amen down below if you believe that God comes first. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. Amen. So leave the word amen in the comment section down below. And thank you to everyone who has begun investing in the stock market. So many of you have messaged me saying that your investments are up thousands of dollars. We are now running a 90% off sale on the Invest Like Trump program. The link is below, or you can type in thefinanceZone.org. And when you sign up, you will get up to $1,000 in bonus stocks inside the program. Okay guys, here we go. This is from Dr. Steve Turley. Let's tune in, my friends.
Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your back porch professor. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend and a great start to the month of August, but I can tell you who most certainly is not. And that's none other than the 84-year-old icon of the Washington establishment, Mitch McConnell. We've got some pretty stunning updates on the condition of McConnell, who was reportedly hospitalized back on June 14th and has not been seen since. His office has been virtually silent the whole time. They've given almost nothing, no updates.
So just to be clear, this was 11 days ago. I do believe we have seen Mitch McConnell. I do believe they did release a photo of him. Yeah, I think this is the photo. The senator shared a photo of him and his wife, Elaine, taken on Sunday. He looks incredibly well. You know, when I saw this, I was like, he doesn't look like he's been in the hospital. So anyways.
Just a line about him receiving excellent care, no condition, no prognosis, nothing, no public appearance, no statement, no proof of life, literally. He is effectively our own version of Mojtaba Khomeini, right? The supposed supreme leader of Iran that literally no one has seen. We have our own version of that, Mojtaba Mitch. But we do have some breaking news here, and it actually goes all the way back to July 12th, nearly a month after he was hospitalized. So as many of you know, McConnell's team officially released a statement and a photo saying a fall left him briefly unconscious and that he was also dealing with a mild case of pneumonia. And alongside that statement came this photo with McConnell in the hospital bed smiling, with his wife, Elaine Chao, holding up a newspaper to prove the date as if he was a hostage or something like that. I mean, it's the oldest trick in the proof of life playbook. And of course, almost immediately, there were accusations all over the internet that the image was AI generated. For the record, I have no idea. I don't have that kind of expertise. I have read digital forensics analysts who reviewed the photo. They found no evidence of AI manipulation. At least that's the ones that are being reported. Again, I don't know, but that's not where the real story is. 3 days after that photo, on July 15th, Chao was photographed leaving the rehab facility. Okay, fine, no problem. But then, nothing. more silence for almost 2 weeks. And then right on cue, just days before a critical political deadline, a second proof of life photo resurfaces, supposedly taken on July 26. And you can see both these photos online. And this is where it gets interesting. When you look these up, when you look at these photos side by side, the one of Chow leaving on July 15th and the one supposedly taken 2 weeks later, she's wearing the exact same outfit. Same shirt, same pants.
To be fair, I wear the same black t-shirt all the time. My friends always bug me about it. Dude, change your shirt. I'm like, I own like 8 black shirts, okay?
Even her hairstyle lines up with the earlier date, not a later one. And it's being widely recognized even by left-wing outlets like the Daily Beast and TMZ. In fact, Chow reportedly appeared with a noticeably different, more reddish hairstyle at a public event on July 29th, just 3 days after the photo she supposedly took on July 26th. Now, could a wealthy woman repeat an outfit? Well, of course, sure, no problem. But the Daily Beast's own editor-in-chief flags something interesting here. The outfit was an off-brand. It was from Chico's, right, which apparently is an inexpensive, mid-range casual woman's clothing brand. But Chow is a multimillionaire. And she's known for wearing very luxurious, very expensive clothing.
That's true. A lot of these women multimillionaires, they change their outfits all the time. It's like, that saying like, oh, I wear a dress once, then I gotta throw it away.
Now, the point the Daily Beast editor was making is that it seemed unusual for someone with Chow's wealth and reputation for careful presentation in public to be photographed twice in the same casual budget brand outfit, which added the suspicion that the second photo wasn't actually taken on a different day as claimed, but was possibly the same photo session just reused or an older photo relabeled. And also it's being widely reported that the photo carried no verifiable metadata and it wasn't taken by any neutral press photographer. Now, of course, that's not proof of fraud, but it's exactly the kind of detail that raises legitimate questions, not conspiracies, legitimate questions. So here's why this isn't just a tabloid curiosity. The reason why McConnell's mysterious absence matters is because in the end, it is a major constitutional problem, okay? So if you don't know, the Kentucky legislature, which is dominated by Republicans, they have a supermajority there, they deliberately changed their Senate vacancy law back in 2024, specifically stripping the Democrat governor, Andy Beshear, the power to appoint a replacement senator. Instead, any vacancy has to be filled by special election, which will, of course, go to a Republican, and most likely a hardcore MAGA Republican. Here is what they are not telling you.
From my understanding, it seems like they want to keep Mitch McConnell in until he is basically done so that he doesn't have to resign, so that they don't have to replace him.
There's a catch buried in Kentucky's Constitution. If a vacancy happens too close to a regularly scheduled election, and McConnell's seat is already up in November 2026, the seat may simply sit vacant until the winner of that election is sworn in come January.
Oh.
That deadline is widely cited as falling right around August 3rd.
And there's going to be legislation before then that they need Mitch McConnell to vote on. Like Mitch McConnell, he typically goes against the hard right MAGA Republicans. They need those votes. Okay, now President Trump has come out to address the nation, so let's listen in.
You better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. That's a very important element of all of this. If we get that, if you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, and I actually did listen to President Trump, and I did start investing in the stock market. And over the past year, my investments are up over $90,000. If you want to learn how to invest in the stock market, very beginner friendly, step-by-step and easy, you can go to thefinancezone.com. FACELESS.org, or if you're watching this on your TV, you can just scan this QR code and get started in a couple of minutes. Even one of you guys messaged me saying that your investments are up over $13,000 after taking the program. And right now, we have a 90% off sale that ends today, up to $1,000 in bonus stocks inside the program. I go over which stocks that Trump has, which stocks that I'm buying, how to set up an account for the very first time, and I also go into depth about how to take advantage of this time we're in while Trump is still president. It's not too late.
Meaning, if McConnell's office could produce just enough proof of life to get past that date, right? A photo here, a statement there, the entire question of who replaces him and how gets punted away for months, thus denying the Senate a key pro-MAGA vote that would be enough to pass the SAVE Act. We're just one vote away from getting the SAVE Act passed by reconciliation and put on President Trump's desk with a simple 50 vote plus one, right? That, I think, is what's really going on here. So thus far, there have been 4 Republicans who've consistently voted against the SAVE Act: Murkowski, McConnell, Tillis, and Susan Collins.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell, he's been, like, notably going against the SAVE Act. Like, he's been asked about the SAVE Act, and he's been denying it. He, even this guy, Burchett, explained it here.
Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett. I saw where Mitch McConnell was blocking the SAVE Act this morning. I think it's partially just out of meanness. He doesn't like Trump, and Trump got him in office. Sadly enough, he helped him in that last race extensively. And that's one thing I value in this game is loyalty, and apparently he doesn't. But he's blocking the SAVE Act.
Yeah, so if you guys are aware of this right now, you can actually go on YouTube and type this in. Senator McConnell absence delays Save America Act. And you know what's wild about this video, guys? It only has 144 views. This is what I'm telling you. The mainstream media, you guys got to watch my show because the mainstream media doesn't cover this stuff.
We have new information this morning about the hiccups President Donald Trump's Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act is facing. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell's extended absence and unclear timetable for return is throwing a wrench into the president's top election priority. McConnell is chair of the Senate Rules Committee, which will likely be responsible for drafting the version of the Save America Act that could meet an expected standard in budget reconciliation, the process that Trump is pushing the GOP to use to pass the bill. Fox News Digital reports that Republicans still don't have enough votes for the bill to pass.
Isn't that crazy? So, like, as long as Mitch McConnell's gone,
chair of the Senate Rules Committee,
it's like, you know, it's just on a standstill. It's crazy. But since he's hospitalized, or like since he's not able, it's like weird. I don't get it.
May be persuadable in the end, but in the meantime, it seems that McConnell's anti-Trump infatuation is going beyond his old bones. Whatever his condition, he is clearly in no condition to represent the people of Kentucky. And his office should announce his immediate resignation. But again, because he and what's left of the Republican establishment are so anti-Trump, they're so bitter towards you, the MAGA coalition, for stealing their neocon rhino Republican Party, that they've decided that they would rather drag this charade out past the August 3rd deadline than to give President Trump a victory with the SAVE Act. It's absolutely despicable, and I think it underscores just how important it was to completely revamp the Republican Party as a nationalist populist for the people party and crush the insufferable donor and advisor class that sold out the people every chance they got for their own benefit.
You guys understand what I'm saying with the lobby money?
So when all is said and done, August 3rd is the deadline. If there's going to be a special election to replace McConnell, his seat would have to be declared vacant by August 3rd.
And obviously that hasn't happened, right? That obviously has not happened. And Benny Johnson is talking about it. Dark 911 call release, hospitalized, life support. We just are not really truly aware of what's taking place.
Senator Mitch McConnell, the former leader of Republicans in the Senate, has disappeared. Nobody has seen him for 20 days. He went to the hospital in an emergency vehicle. We had the 911 call, and now there are rumors that McConnell is no longer with us. He's either completely brain dead or he's gone.
Let's look at his actual Twitter account, X account, and see what they're posting. Oh, we don't have anything from until June. He's the senator, and he doesn't post on. This is his public account. He hasn't posted anything since June. It's actually crazy to me because typically this is where, you know, even Mike Pence, he's probably making posts on here. Yeah, even Mike Pence is posting more than Mitch McConnell. Think about that. Mike Pence is more active politically than Mitch McConnell. Mike Pence is doing more than Mitch, guys. He's selling more books. The Pence effect. You always gotta check the book deals. But yeah, Mitch McConnell's basically gone. Like, what's gonna happen to Mitch? Let's tune in to Benny Johnson, guys.
I want to begin by saying, while I want Mitch McConnell out of the Senate and have been calling for him to peacefully resign because he's clearly in no state to be serving in office, he's been on a steep decline for the last decade, and it's been an act of cruelty, probably worse than even Joe Biden, to keep him in office. Mitch McConnell's team is covering something up here. We know that because we haven't heard anything from anybody for 20 days. Something very bad has happened. Okay, so let me break this down into the things that we know and the things we don't know. And we're going to start with the things we don't know, right? Beginning with this. Mitch McConnell's house had an emergency dispatch call. These dispatch calls are public record. You can listen in to the radio broadcasts and you can hear that somebody was unconscious and needing advanced life support at Mitch McConnell's home on June 14th, the exact date when his office made an announcement that Mitch McConnell is recovering great in the hospital from some type of unnamed medical emergency.
8:30 response unconscious, 217 C3, no TCS in Charlie. Medical local paramedic agent 3, medic 3, ALS response unconscious, 217 C Street, no TCS in Charlie, close of 2nd Street on Charlie 11, 8:36.
So, beside the fact that dispatcher can't speak English, you can see here that something, well, really bad happened at the address that is listed as Mitch McConnell's. Per two White House sources, Mitch McConnell is dead after a series of strokes. He died of brain embolism on 5/25. Okay. This is community noted. So I want to tell you, you could open up your timeline and you could see plenty of fake news here. What does the community note say? Mitch McConnell is alive and recovering from a June hospitalization. The claim originates from Raw News, known as a fake news website. Okay. So I did see it, you did see this. Obviously, you see these things. It's probably engagement bait. There's been, of course, no official announcement. But there is this recording.
Agent 3, medic 3, ALS response unconscious, 217 C3, no.
That is a legitimate recording from early in the small hours of the morning on June 14th, calling for advanced life support, someone unconscious. Mitch McConnell's in hospice care. That's why he hasn't been seen or heard from in days. Some people are saying, Leader John Thune, is Mitch McConnell even alive? What are you hiding from his constituents and the American people? This needs investigating right now, right? So everybody's saying, learn Mitch McConnell may secretly be on life support. Is there a cover-up going on right now? Well, there is. I mean, that's undeniable that there is, in fact, a cover-up going on because Mitch McConnell has had steep declining health for many years. Here's a recent photo of Mitch McConnell getting wheeled through the airport. He is now wheelchair bound. See, here's Mitch McConnell getting covered by his staff, is what they call it, when they have these big sort of lunking dudes that stand in the way so that nobody can film Mitch McConnell's true state. They did the same thing with Biden. Mitch McConnell has to be helped up. He's unable to get into the vehicle on his own power. A female Secret Service officer needs to help Mitch McConnell up in this video. This video is from nearly 20 years ago. Just so that you know how long you've been lied to by the corporate press. Here's Mitch McConnell unable to walk up a staircase 20 years ago. So how much has this guy been in complete collapse? Well, you can see here, he actually literally collapses. And it brings me no joy to show you this. I dislike Mitch McConnell greatly. I hate his politics. He's a total traitor. I am the most merciful. You know the people who are doing this to Mitch McConnell? His family, his staff, cretins. They did the same thing to Joe Biden. Look at him fall. Look at him fall over. You know who does this?
Working people off the streets and kidnapping them.
Like he just falls. Nobody even touches him. The merciful thing is for him to retire, for his family to step in and to put him in a home. But instead, they're humiliating him through the calls of Congress. I mean, you could, in a fall like this, you could totally break your hip. You could break a bone. You could kill yourself. I mean, if you're old enough, you can kill yourself in a fall like this. You break your arm. Mitch McConnell's not seeking a re-election. Maybe this is exactly what's been happening to Mitch McConnell. Look at these photos of his hands. They're like, oh, Trump's hands look bad. Look at this. He looks like he's been to the morgue, like a reanimated corpse. Mitch McConnell's weird purple hands. Oh, what is the explanation? That he's a reanimated corpse? Okay. So these are the things that we know, and these are the things that we don't know. Okay? So we don't know what his condition is. Senator McConnell's condition remains a mystery 2 weeks after being hospitalized. What the hell's going on? A spokesperson from McConnell's office said there are no updates at this time regarding the senator's condition. The office reiterated the same message 2 weeks ago. Senator McConnell is working closely with staff and Senate business during his recovery. Recovery from what? Nobody knows. As of Wednesday last week, there's no Senate votes. The Senate is not in session. Oh, okay. So they actually kicked the Senate out. They kicked the Senate out. The Senate went on vacation. Mitch McConnell's been in the hospital the entire time. He's been hospitalized at George Washington University. This is in Washington, D.C. He's been there for more than 2 weeks. If his family want privacy, that's fine. He should resign. Otherwise, he needs to reveal his condition and his ability to do the job. 16 days of Mitch McConnell still being in the hospital. 0 updates. Almost a week ago, I asked Senator McConnell's office his condition. I read an article indicating that he's just still in the hospital. His office has not publicly clarified when he's being discharged or what actually happened. Elected officials should be required to disclose their health status when it affects the ability to serve the people who elected them. This isn't weekend at Bernie's. If Senator McConnell were to pass away while in office, it would have significant implications on the balance of power in the Senate. That's right. 84 years old is too old. He's been in the Senate since before I was alive, since before I was born. McConnell's not been seen or heard from in 19 days. Goodness gracious. And some of these videos have just been totally egregious. This one's from a few weeks ago, May 12th. Okay.
Here's where we are. The vote is about over. The secretary has to get with the president on the China trip. I'm going to ask Senator Murkowski to wrap up. And thank you all for being here.
Baldwin, Shaheen, and Kennedy. Baldwin, Shaheen, and Kennedy still have questions. Wrap up after.
Hold here. Yeah. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of time for a second round, so we'll get through everybody. And Senator Murkowski, I appreciate your taking over.
Thank you. Secretary Hegseth, Chairman Kane, thank you for being here today.
So he can barely get up. He can barely leave. You can see he's got these horrible sores all over his face. Then his lips are the color of blood right? Or lack thereof. He looks like a warmed over corpse. Something horrible has happened to Mitch McConnell. And they made a call about a brain aneurysm. Effectively, they made a call about unconscious and needing advanced life support to his house. So somebody's hiding something. And it's totally and completely patently evil what they're doing to these people. The most humane thing that you can do is call for him to resign immediately and be put in a hospice home or a nursing home, whichever one is appropriate. And we reiterate this, as we have always said, we don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. We want people to be treated humanely by their families. But unfortunately, the politician families are bloodthirsty vampires that suck the life out of these members of Congress and then out of our country.
All right, now President Trump has a message for all of us. Let's take a listen.
Rising market will do. Oh, it's going to get a lot higher. In fact, I told people 5 weeks ago, this is a great time to buy. I got criticized for that. Now they don't criticize me anymore. People should have listened. But it's going to go a lot higher. You're going to see, we've never had anything like this happen. It's an explosion.
Wow, so people doubted Trump. I actually did listen to President Trump, and I did start investing in the stock market. And over the past year, my investments are up over $90,000. If you want to learn how to invest in the stock market, very beginner friendly, step-by-step and easy, you can go to theFinanceZone.org, or if you're watching this on your TV, you can just scan this QR code and get started in a couple of minutes. Even one of you guys messaged me saying that your investments are up over $13,000 after taking the program. And right now we have a 90% off sale that ends today, up to $1,000 in bonus stocks inside the program. I go over which stocks that Trump has, which stocks that I'm buying, how to set up an account for the very first time, and I also go into depth about how to take advantage of this time we're in while Trump is still president. It's not too late. It's getting crazy. You know, this is one of the 100 senators, one of the leaders of the free world, one of the leaders in government. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that Mitch McConnell is, you know, he's not doing too well, okay? If you've seen him speak recently, if you've seen him even walk around, and it just goes to beg the question, are these the type of people who we want actually making laws in our country, actually pushing legislation, voting on very serious matters like the war, like the economy? You know, are these really the best of the best of the best of the best that we have? Personally, I would say no. I would say that these, you know, the Mitch McConnells of the world, you know, there's other ones up there too in the Senate, in the House of Representatives who, you know, are not performing the best. I think we should bring in some younger people. You know, as you get older, you know, your mind is not as sharp, and some people age differently. So let's tune in. This is on the Benny Johnson Show. Let's listen in, guys.
Breaking news, a very reputable publication in Washington, D.C. just published Mitch McConnell's eulogy, as though Mitch McConnell has died. And while it seems like an error, perhaps, some type of mistake, they already had it pre-written. Has the whole do not use, a look back at Mitch McConnell's time in the Senate. You can see it right here in the Internet Archive. This from The Hill. One of the premier publications for inside Washington, D.C. And this happens sometimes where people get trigger happy and they publish something that they had pre-written, or perhaps they're publishing early before an embargo breaks. Has Mitch McConnell died? That is my question. We're hearing reports that Mitch McConnell is brain dead in the hospital and is no longer with us. While we don't know if he's on this mortal plane, that's what we are hearing from some very high-level people inside of the government and inside of the Trump White House. And so what's going to happen next? This is the last time we saw Mitch McConnell alive. The last time we saw Mitch McConnell alive, he couldn't even finish chairing his own committee meeting. He was humiliated by his own staffer. His lips were purple.
Wrap up after.
Hold here.
You can see the blood vessels had burst under his eyes. He had no blood circulation. He had to be told by staffers what to do.
Yeah.
Listen to that. Yeah. What is that? That's not a human noise.
Obviously, there's not a whole lot of time for a second round. So
Slurring his words. And then Mitch McConnell gets up in the middle of the hearing and runs away, just like Joe Biden used to do. What happened later that day? Mitch McConnell is walking by himself down a hallway and then just collapses. Nobody touches him. Nobody scares him. He just falls over. What is that? It's blood loss. It looks like he was having a cardiac arrest there. We know that he had a cardiac arrest and was taken to the hospital totally unresponsive and unable to communicate. It's been more than a week since Senator McConnell, who turned 84, was admitted to the hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, though his team has not disclosed why he was in the hospital or provided any detail. This is out of date. This is from July 6th. It's been more than 3 weeks, correction, since Mitch McConnell, who turned 84. So it's been a month. Nobody knows. Now, we do have the 911 call and the dispatch. And the dispatch says that Mitch McConnell had a life-threatening injury, was unresponsive, and had a cardiac arrest, we now know. Independent journalist is reporting that 84-year-old Senator McConnell, mysteriously hospitalized last month, suffering from cardiac arrest, has not been publicly seen, is on life support and brain dead, though nothing has been officially confirmed by the family or office of the senator. This is how you know it's really bad. Because Mitch McConnell's office, my goodness, look at one of these. This is one of the last known photographs of Mitch McConnell. Look at this. Look at his hands. Look at his hands. Bruised, battered, blackened, no blood flow, clearly falling constantly, breaking or injuring his hands. The no-slip shoes, the mountain climbing shoes here just to walk across flat surfaces. There are now multiple reports from a variety of sources, left and right, claiming that Mitch McConnell is unconscious and likely brain dead. And family members are not pushing back on these reports. Senator McConnell has now been hospitalized for 3 weeks. The gravity of the situation cannot be overstated, especially since his wife, Elaine Chao, appeared in China days after his hospitalizations. This is probably the most evil thing I've seen happen in politics, and I watched all 4 years of Joe Biden. At least Jill Biden didn't sneak off to go confer with her Chinese state handlers. I'm not saying that she doesn't have them, but Elaine Chao did. Elaine Chao's Chinese. And she was born in Taiwan. Her parents are Chinese. They are in business with the Communist Party of China. They're billionaires. They run a massive shipping business through China. And you can't do that without the government's permission. It is a Chinese communist dictatorship. Well, anyway, Elaine Chao is not by her husband's side. Elaine Chao is in China, minting deals, meeting with the highest possible echelons of Chinese Party communist leadership while her husband is dying in the hospital. Okay, what does that tell you exactly? Question now is national security. If Senator McConnell is unable to independently perform his duty, what safeguards exist to ensure classified intelligence briefings, defense appropriations information, or other sensitive congressional matters could not be accessed, discussed, and shared with the Communist Party of China? It's a great point. And given the timing of Chao's meeting with the Chinese vice president, what was discussed? Why the hell was she in China? High-ranking source says McConnell is officially brain dead. He's not coming back. I checked with the staff. Latest update from Mitch McConnell's lying staff, who's been lying, by the way, about his condition for years. We appreciate the outpouring of support. He's recovering in the hospital. So this is very interesting. This is new. They say he's in the hospital. The senator continues to improve and is working closely with his staff on Kentucky and Senate matters while the Senate is out of session. Oh, I'm sure. So they confirmed that he's still in the hospital. I spoke with a neighbor who lives next door to Mitch McConnell, and she said that she was there when the medical emergency occurred, and she saw him being taken to the hospital, and she's not seen anybody home since that day.
No family has come?
I haven't seen anyone coming or going from there.
Yeah, because I know his Capitol Police Detail, they're over at the hospital, so I just thought So his wife, Elaine Chao, was found in China 3 days after he went into cardiac arrest. So we're trying to figure out where she is. It doesn't look like she has come back to the house. So I was wondering, have you seen her at all?
No, I haven't seen anyone.
Oh my God. Can you explain what happened?
I have to go to work.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, intrepid reporting right there. I want to see proof of life at this point. Something has to be done. There has to be some sort of deadline that they're holding out for. Well, thank you, Derek Evans, because you're exactly right. There is a deadline. It is August 3rd. August 3rd is when you cannot have a special election for a Senate seat for a deceased or resigned senator in Kentucky based on Kentucky law. So they are trying to hold out Mitch McConnell, who's allegedly brain dead at the hospital, never coming back. They're trying to keep him having a pulse, which they can probably do medically, and keep this a secret so that there can't be a Trump Republican that is elected or appointed to that seat. Sorry, it'd be a special election based on Kentucky law. They have to hold out for 3 months before the election. Then it'll just go to the regular general election. They could pass the Save America Act. Mitch McConnell is the deciding vote against killing the filibuster. And if you get a special election and you have a Trump Republican who would win in a landslide, win that election, like a Nate Morris, right? Win that election, then you are able to pass the Save America Act. This is what they're trying to hold out on. These are evil, evil bastards. This is what they're doing. They're using Mitch McConnell's corpse to do that. And it's not the first time they've done it. Look at Dianne Feinstein here. She died in office. Look at this. Actual crypt keeper. Yes, Mitch McConnell's wife did literally flee to China after Mitch McConnell is brain dead in the hospital. Where's his wife? They've been married for 40 years. And his wife isn't by his side? His wife is in China as he's brain dead? Ladies and gentlemen, something very evil is happening here. It's as bad as you ever thought. And we need answers. We need proof of life immediately. Trump should call this out, and we need to get to the bottom of this. This is worse than what they did with Joe Biden. It is. And since it's my party, it's my obligation to say it. Okay?
Wow, that is crazy, guys. I mean, honestly, say a prayer for Mitch McConnell. Now, President Trump just came out to address the nation. Let's listen in.
The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom, and the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal? They've taken advantage of us for many, many years. For many years, we've been at the wrong side of the ball, and I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be unbelievable. The thing that people have to talk about, we're up almost to $7 trillion of investment coming into our country. And you'll see how it's going to turn out. Our country's going to boom.
President Trump says our country and the market is going to boom. And I actually did listen to President Trump, and I did start investing in the stock market. And over the past year, my investments are up over $90,000. If you want to learn how to invest in the stock market, very beginner friendly, step-by-step and easy, you can go to thefinanceZone.org, or if you're watching this on your TV, you can just scan this QR code and get started in a couple of minutes. Even one of you guys messaged me saying that your investments are up over $13,000 after taking the program. And right now, we have a 90% off sale that ends today, up to $1,000 in bonus stocks inside the program. I go over which stocks that Trump has, which stocks that I'm buying, how to set up an account for the very first time, and I also go into depth about how to take advantage of this time we're in while Trump is still president. It's not too late.